Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of Adeptus Podcastus. And joining me as always is Tactica Imperialis.
Hello everyone, sorry for the extra week between episodes, my fault, gun drone reasons.
It's fine. Also, I apologise in advance if I sound a bit shit, because I'm not feeling too well at the moment. But I've got a bucket next to me, so I'll try and edit out the puking sounds if need be.
And you should also apologise in retrospect for missing the episode with all the Night Lords in.
Yes, I do apologise for that, but in fairness, I had good reasons for missing that episode.
Yes, of course.
Because I was busy editing.
Yes, I understand completely. It was just hilarious that we sat down to the news cycle and went, wait, there's new Night Lords minis and a new Night Lords book. Where's Rem?
I know. Sod's law, eh? Never fucking mind.
Any particular thoughts on the new Kill Team or the new novel?
I'm interested to see how the new novel turns out. Kill Team also looks nice. New Raptors is always good. So, yeah. Happy boy.
Good. One happy Remleiz is what we like to hear. And it's also a bit of a week of news all over the place. There's a little bit of everything for everyone today. From AOS to Black Library to 40k to basically everything. So plenty to explore. And with 3 weeks of news, you'd think we'd have loads to talk about. And we sort of do, but we kind of don't. So where would you like to start?
I have no idea because I've not actually seen what's in the news this week so far, so I need you to fill me in.
All right, I can do that. So I would like to start actually in a slightly odd place, which is Warhammer Plus. I know Warhammer Plus, because Warhammer Plus actually has new minis for this year, and actually they're really rather good. So there's an Eldari one, like a spirit seer of some kind called Infinity. I've just put that in the wrong chat. Whoops, I put that in the wrong chat. I'm in my server, typing in my server. Whoops. There we go. So Infinity's Lament.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, so it's a spirit seer retrieving a spirit stone from a Wraith Lord, which is a really cool concept.
I really like that one. That's really nice.
Agreed. Although AOS is not far behind because they've decided to go down the Soulblight route with a necromancer called the Summons.
That is also really nice.
We have slagged off Warhammer Plus a fair bit, but they do good exclusive minis if you sign up, which is something.
That's true, yeah. Can't knock them from that.
No. And to be fair, Warhammer TV and Warhammer Plus is a lot better than it used to be. But I did want to at least point out these minis because they are really good. And if you are a Warhammer Plus subscriber, then you need to make sure you get one because it's free, I think.
Fair enough.
The next place I think would be good to go, if we're doing a quick rapid fire, is probably the most exciting news for many people. Dawn of War 4.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I know a lot of people weren't happy because they killed off Cyrus in the trailer.
Oh well, get a grip.
It's like, but we like Steve Bloom.
Also, he's on the work in progress, not final quality screen as a commander, so he's not dying before the campaign, he's dying during the campaign, probably.
Either that or the trailer just show him being mortally wounded and he gets Primaris. I know he's actually in Primaris armor at that point though, isn't he, in the trailer?
I don't know the look of Primaris scout armor well enough, or whether he's in the Vanguard armor. I wasn't paying that close enough attention. Also, you're back on Cronus.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, considering that last time we were there, Pariahs were still a thing. As a Necron Pariahs, they were still a thing back in the lore.
Indeed, and
because that was actually one of the main villains, the one called Thomas.
Yes, it's also worth noting that last time we were there, the believed canonical victor was the Orcs, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
It's either the Orcs or the Blood Ravens, because Gorguts survives, which he does even if he is defeated in the Dark of Crusade campaign. But obviously, it would be nice to know who won on Cronus the first time. But clearly, even if they blew the Tomb Complex, the Necrons are not gone, so they're back. And they do show a bunch of other screenshots with the Orcs fighting and really, really good artwork done there. You've got the Space Marines, including Knights. So Knights are new. And actually the Ad Mecha here.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice, but we haven't had them in the game yet, so it'd be interesting to see how they play. Also, I don't know if you've seen all the comments floating around saying, like, well, we went straight from Dawn of War 2 to Dawn of War 4.
You can't just pretend that Dawn of War 3 didn't exist no matter how much you want to.
And I will say, while Dawn of War 3 is objectively the worst Dawn of War game so far, I say so far because we don't know how 4 is going to play out. While it is the worst objectively, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's still a competent game.
Yeah,
the lore's a fucking mess, but as a game, it's still competent.
Yes, it is bad because 1 and 2 are so good that the bar is set astronomically high, and 3 couldn't meet that bar. Like if that was Dawn of War 1, you'd go, okay, it's a bit janky, it's got a slightly weird story, but it will do. But because it's 3 and 1 and 2 were so good, apart from Soulstorm, sorry, that's just me.
Talk about Soulstorm. Yeah, Soulstorm's crap. I'm sorry.
So yes, you know what I mean? The bar's different. The bar with 3 was so high because 1 and 2 were so beloved for different reasons. So yeah, tricky.
And you keep saying the bar now. I'm just reminded of that tag team between
Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah,
indeed. Right, the next place I think would be worth going. I haven't actually read the article yet. There's a lot of information about the new Raven Guard chapter master miniature, Aethon Shan. He gets his own lore article on Warhammer Community because until today he didn't even exist. And we just sort of want to clarify. They want to talk about why Shrike gets out of the way.
Yeah, wasn't it because like he felt like he couldn't like justify himself or something like that. I can't do this anymore. Fuck it, so let's take out something.
Shorthand. Shan has been 10th, 8th, 4th, and 1st captain at different points. And he basically says that Kayvan Shrike ordered a scattering of strike forces. Having been elected to command after the death of Severax, Shrike came to realize the mantle of high command did not fit. He saw in himself everything that cost Severax his life. And because he'd invested himself deeply in one path, he didn't feel that he would be suitable to lead the threefold path that Corvus Corax embodied. So because he was so much into one, he didn't feel he was suitable to do all three and therefore be a true leader. He did well, but therefore, once the Adeptus Crusade came along, he basically scattered his commanders to be analysed, and Shan was the one that Shrike thought did the best.
Basically, you're more qualified for the job, you do it.
Yeah, he knew he didn't want the job because he wasn't suited for it, so he evaluated everybody else during the Adeptus Crusade and said, you're the best one, you have it.
Fair enough. It's nice to see someone get promoted to chapter master without having someone die in the process, or be crippled beyond repair.
Well, normally they kind of have to. It also talks about the little servo automata, the little winged things that are like flying guns that he's got.
Yeah.
So these
gun
are...
drones, if you will.
Sort of, yes. So they're called servo automata. They are avian beasts in the towers of the Raven Spire, ranging from vat-grown organics to almost entirely mechanical. And they assume, well, we assume that there's some sort of surveillance mechanism, except actually they're a bit more than that. They're a constant influx of tactical data, intercepted transmissions, and a reassuring reminder that the gaze of Corax remains upon them. Right, they've got some link to Corax.
See, this is what I feel is a missed opportunity, because they could have actually done a nice little tie into Necromunda here by, instead of having these little servo automata, have them replaced with sheen birds.
Is that too much of a niche reference and have nothing to do with Corax? Because Corax went nowhere near Necromunda.
No, but even so, they're still like, cyborg ravens, essentially, so...
I get it. Like, if, the Raven Guard were in any way involved in Necromunda's backstory, I would agree with you. But there's no link other than, bird, between them and Corax.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, there was no link between Necromunda and the Fear Cats from, like, Dark Heresy, and they said, we're just going to bring Fear Cats in, and they just made it a thing. Because Fear Cats were, like, an entirely similar thing. They just went, fuck it, we'll just go associate with Necromunda because we feel like it.
True enough. That's true.
And besides, sheen birds are cool. I mean, cyborg ravens. What's not to love?
I mean, yeah, can't really argue with that. However, if you want less cyborg ravens and more, traditional smashing, then a new mini came out in the last cycle, which is Ferren Areios. Now, if you don't know that name, Ferren Areios is a captain from the, I know it's a Dark Imperium, that's wrong, the Dawn of Fire series. He actually shows up quite a lot as one of the early Primaris, who was trained by Messinius. And he is quite important. He shows up in Hand of Abaddon, which I talked about in a recent episode. And it's a decent mini. It's fine.
The pose feels familiar. Like, it feels like the CAD file was used for something else at some point.
Do you have a mini in mind?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, God. What was his name again?
Ferren Areios is this guy.
How do you spell Areios? Sorry.
Areios. I'll send you the image if that helps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it feels like the CAD file has been used by another Primaris Marine Lieutenant Mini or something, I swear. But like with a different weapon, but like the pose is like pretty much identical. I swear I've seen this pose before.
I mean, they might well have done, to be fair.
But this exact pose, I mean. It's kind of like, you know, with Gazgul's model, how it's like pretty much identical to like the Dark Vengeance Hellbrute.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of like, you know, the pose and that. It's identical.
Well, then they could give Gazgul an alternate pose at least.
Yeah. It'll come to me, I'm sure.
Yes. However, I think probably the other cool bit in terms of mini releases, because there's a lot of stuff about the Helmsmiths of Hashut that I quite like to talk about. But the last other big set of minis was a new edition of Blood Bowl. I'm getting you the teams now. Actually, these are in the article.
Blood Bowl.
So yes, there's a new season of Blood Bowl, and the Tomb Kings and the Bretonnians are at it again, because apparently being the head of Old World wasn't enough, they now want to be the head on the gridiron too.
Do you remember when they were going to do an entire novel series based on the Old World, and it was just the one book?
They may do more.
Not under the Old World banner, no. Not novels.
Not yet.
There was only one Old World novel.
So far.
I think it flopped so badly, nah, fuck, we're not going to do it again. Because how long has Old World been a thing now? It's been a thing for a while now. There would have been more than one novel at this point.
You'd probably think so, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully with a new edition of Blood Bowl, that'll make Games Workshop put all the fiction back on the Black Library website, with luck.
Maybe. However, if you take a look at the teams, so Britannia on foot is a new team to Blood Bowl. They've got Knights, Grail Knights, and Squires that do different jobs. So the Squires are all about like dumping people with wrestling. The Knights can pass and catch with nerves of steel. They all have a rule called Dauntless. No idea what that does. And Grail Knights, who are very much your hard-hitting blitzers who can avoid being knocked down every now and then, which is, I'm assuming, very, very useful. I mean, they're nice minis. I like the Squires, especially who all got to put 'em up poses, which I find quite cool.
Put 'em up. What was that from?
That was the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz.
That's it, yeah.
Good grief.
The Cowardly Squire.
However, the Tomb Kings team decided they wanted to be Stormcast Eternals.
Foreshadowing. Hey, it's Cetrus. Hey.
I mean, the bulky shoulder pads and all the plating and the gold armor, they really do look like Stormcast Eternals. I mean, apparently they're very much the same team they always used to be, with Tomb Guardians, Blitzers, Throwers, and Skeleton Linemen. Nothing that you wouldn't expect to see here, but they do look cool, to be fair. Some nice bulky units and nice mixed skeletons. I think they look cool, to be fair. Nothing special.
It makes you wonder, like, if they ever did like a Blood Bowl spin-off, but it was like Age of Sigmar focused teams.
It would be cool.
Because obviously they did do, like, you know, the Age of Sigmar spin-off for Warhammer Quest with, like, Silver Tower. And also, like, you know, you could just make shelf, like, oh, here's some portal that's cross-dimensional or time travel, whatever. And don't say they won't do it because they did a story where they crossed over into 40k. So, yeah, so they can do it. That'd make a pretty good expansion, probably, as well. Like an Age of Sigmar expansion for Blood Bowl.
It would be fun, although I think the problem is Blood Bowl is so comedic that I don't think they want to touch AOS with it, because it's a different vibe. Fantasy's always been darkly comedic in a way that AOS isn't. And that's not a dig at AOS or fantasy. but it's just different.
I still want to see it, though.
Yeah, we can't argue with that. Speaking of Age of Sigmar, they've actually teased some minis that are coming soon because it's been the 10 years of AOS chat at the minute, and they've actually shown 4 different armies that are on the way in zoomed-in rumor engine style. I can name 3 of them with confidence. Obviously, you've got...
let me try and guess. I don't know too much about Age of Sigmar. So, bottom left, I'm guessing is ogres.
Yep, that will be Ogor more tribes.
Yeah. Top left, Nurgle, because that looks like a fly on the shield.
Yep, I think that's Magakin of Nurgle.
Top right, Chaos Dwarfs, I imagine. Or
I think that's Fire Slayers because of the bright orange beard. I think it's Fire Slayers.
Oh, is there a beard? Oh, yeah, I didn't see it. I thought I just saw the face and I thought it might have been like a hobgrot or something.
I mean, it could be, but I think it's a beard.
Yeah, you could be. You're probably right, yeah. And the one on the right, bottom right?
I hope that's Valyrian Shadow Elves.
Yeah, Umbraneth, yeah, I was thinking, yeah.
We don't know, but I really hope it is Umbraneth because they've been talking about it for literally 3 editions now. Get on with it.
And delete all reference to them. Just say, follows of Valyrian. We're not going to get rid of all mentions of Umbraneth.
Indeed.
You don't want to spoil it.
So that's what I'm hoping. And we don't know exactly how long it'll be until these come out. But there's one for... Actually, no, it must be Death. It says there's one for each Grand Alliance, so that one must be Death. So it must be a Death unit of some kind. Oh, boo. Fucking boo.
Some kind... in which case, I'm thinking... Judging by the arm, I'm guessing Ossiarch.
Yeah, it can't be Nighthaunt because it's too...
solid.
Corporeal. Yeah. It can't be Flesh Eaters because, duh. Soulblight doesn't look skeletal enough, so yeah, I think Ossiarch's a decent shout.
Yeah, because it looks like overly bony protrusions on the forearms, so yeah, I'm guessing Ossiarch.
Yeah. Right. I would like, however, now to talk about Hashut, if that's all right.
Go on then.
So, obviously, the Hellsmiths of Hashut are the Chaos Dwarf reborn in the Age of Sigmar, and they've actually got a couple of articles this week in terms of introducing them and themselves and their rules as well. So, it's one of the things that is interesting is how do they work? How do Chaos Dwarves work? How does Hashut work? Is he a Chaos God or was he a Dwarf God? How does it fit together? So it's interesting because they basically are twisted by Chaos Dwarden. Everything virtuous about the Dwarden and pervert it. The Fire Slayers become contemptuous instead of courageous. The craftsmanship of the Charodron becomes perfectionism and endless greed. Tradition becomes debt and hierarchies. And the root of this is Hashut, who, and I quote, revealed himself to Dwarden during the Age of Chaos, claiming to be a long-forgotten ancestor god. Spent many years communicating with those trapped in their keeps by besieging demons, and he offered a terrible solution to their never-ending war, the ability to turn the demons into tools. The Chaos Dwarves, or the Zardron, now believe him to have been the oldest and proudest of the ancestor gods, who was deceived and betrayed that Valea sundered his mortal form, but he persisted afterwards. There's a separate article I'm going to read in a moment about him, but basically the Zaralid is a cuneiform tongue that he came up with that only the magic-resistant Duardin could use, because they have to be patient and resistant to magic to actually do it. So that's kind of cool. Preying on unaligned demons, particularly, and going in that direction with slavery and demon smiths and all of this stuff. It's actually some really interesting lore here, and I encourage you to actually give it a read in general, with like talking about the bull centaurs, how they work with the other chaos factions, and all of this, and how the Skaven fit in and why they've been rushed out now that the Skaven are here. And the actual lore article is written in the sense of it's written by Chaos Dwarf, so I'm not going to take that as canon. We'll see if we can find out what Hashut actually is, but certainly the Zardron believe him to be a ancestor dwarf god rather than a chaos entity, but we shall see as to exactly how it fits together. Either way, it's a really good bit of backstory. They've really taken the time to flesh out the Chaos Dwarves and make them feel like their own faction while still fitting within sort of standard dwarfish expectations, which I approve of.
Yeah.
They've also got some really cool rules. So if they're not in combat or they're contesting objective, they get desolation tokens that let them harness demonic power points. And by infusing themselves with demonic power, they can get more objective control. They can increase their wards. They can empower their movement and attacks. All sorts of things they can do using them. They've got priests, they've got wet spells, and all of this. Lots of interesting stuff in the rules. But yeah, I look forward to seeing how they play. And as we've said before, the minis are just amazing. I just wish the Hell Cannon was better.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
No, I'm not. I know it's not a Hell Cannon, it's something else, but just I miss the fucking Hell Cannon. I miss the Hell Cannon.
Fair.
Right, that's my AOS tangent for the day done. I just wanted to do that because if I didn't, then I wasn't doing my job. What else have we got? Not a lot, to be honest. There's a bunch of lore about, there's stories about Lysander and all the other stuff. But the only other reveal in this cycle was the new Heresy novel. Yes, they're still doing Heresy novels, even though the Heresy series is over, which is called Dropsite Massacre, which is by John French.
I mean, in fairness, I can understand why we're doing this for two reasons. One, because it's tying into a new edition of the Horus Heresy game, so obviously that's, marketing purposes. But also, technically, we haven't actually had that much, prose from the actual massacre itself. I think in the actual novel series, we had, 1 or 2 chapters at most.
Wasn't the entirety of the book Fulgrim mostly set on Istvan V?
Most of the book was not, no. Because most of the book happens before it.
So the entire thing about the death of Ferrus Manus is done in 2 chapters and then move on?
Pretty much.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what disrespect to Ferrus Manus. I didn't realise it was that little.
It might have been about 3 or 4, but I'm saying 2 as hyperbole. But anyway, I know the Black Books did a hell of a lot more, expanding the actual events of the Dropsite Massacre. But yeah, in the actual Horus Heresy novel series, we didn't actually get that much of Istvan V. We actually had more lore for Istvan 3 than we did 5.
Yeah, that had most of Galaxy in Flames was Istvan 3, if I recall. Yeah. I've read Galaxy in Flames.
I know there was at least, a couple of short stories and, maybe a few audio dramas. I know there was one audio drama where we had, a trio of salamanders doing, guerrilla warfare on Istvan 5, which was pretty cool. I can't remember the name of it now. Fuck.
No, I don't recall.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second.
Well, while you do that, I'll talk about this book a little, which is all about following the loyalist forces and how they get murdered. But you'll also see a few characters you know. So Malakhurst of the Sons of Horus is here. Khan, that becomes Khan the Betrayer, is also here. There's also some new characters whose names I vaguely recognise, but I don't know if they're actually completely new or just referenced in the Red Books or what. So there's a character called Casterman Orth of the Iron Hands, which is a name I don't know. And then Cades Nex, the Blood Crow. That name rings a bell to me. From when I did my heresy research a few years ago. I feel like I've heard Cades Nex before. So
wasn't he the Destroyer guy? Not Destroyer guy. The guys who got who do wield the Volkite pistols.
There's a Moritat, yeah.
Moritat, that's it, yeah. Also, I found the audio drama name is called Strike and Fade.
Ah, got you. So yeah, actually, Cades actually was in the Black Books. He was in book 3, so he's actually in quite a lot. He's actually even got a mini, does Cades Nex. He's the really edgy one with the tool pistols and the raven chest plate. Do you remember?
Yes.
So yes, that's him. I'll send you a picture to put into the video for the probably majority of the audience who have no idea what I'm referring to. But yeah, it's this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Yes, I didn't realise he had a mini. The other one, Casterman Orth. I'm just going to check that name and see if it's a new name. Probably is. Oh, well, he's not got a mini, but he does. Oh, no. He was in Heresy Book 2. He was a spearhead centurion, a tank commander who accompanied Ferrus Manus after Fulgrim and was part of the super heavy spearhead. So, yeah, apparently his fate is a matter of conjecture. Who abandoned his name and rank in shame after being badly disfigured, apparently.
Right.
So we'll see. But it is a known name, but not a very well-known name, clearly.
Okay.
So yes, that's Dropset Massacre. I hope it's good for the sake of heresy. I hope it's good because, to be fair, as you say, if there's not a lot of actual writing around the Dropset Massacre, then it's good to really flesh it out. I just generally assumed, because of the amount of work the Black Books did, that there was a lot more.
Now, in terms of novels, there's been like fuck all for Stand 5, in all fairness. I mean, it's John French, so it's got a good chance of being good.
Agreed.
But yeah, I just hope it's better than Chthonia's Reckoning, because that was dog shit. You know, that book that came to time with the whole Chthonia's Wrath box set? Yeah, that was a dog shit book. I'm sorry, it was dreadful.
God.
But we can but hope this will actually be good.
Yes, speaking of things that are good, Space Marine 2's been doing a bunch of stuff recently. So they put out their Year 2 roadmap, and I just want to pick a few things out. You can fight Mutualist Vortex Beasts. You've got a new PvP and PvE mode. You can play as a Hellbrute in the Hellbrute Onslaught game. You've got new weapons like the Pyre Blaster and the Xenophase Blade, which is really cool. You can fight Chaos Spawn as a Majoris enemy. There's new Chaos Champion skins. There's actually quite a lot. And there's also the second season pass, which has a Black Templars Champion pack and Imperial Fist cosmetics, if that's your thing. I'm probably on the wrong article for the roadmap, so I'm going to have to go and find that in a second. Here it is. I was on the wrong article. Here we go.
Whoopsie doodle.
My bad.
Your bad.
So yes.
Your bad.
Yes, so the Tech Marine class is coming. You can play as a Tech Marine, apparently. New Terminus enemies, new stratagems, Champions pack, a Raptors cosmetic pack, a Carcharodon's cosmetic pack. So, yeah, plenty to be getting on with if you're on the season pass or not.
A redacted pack?
Yes, I wonder who that will be.
Who's the redacted?
I wonder.
Come on, Rainbow Warriors.
If they do Rainbow Warriors, then somebody is going to get shot.
If they do Rainbow Warriors, then Suggs is going to be cheering. She's going to be like, yes, come on.
Some people, yes, are going to be gassed. Some people are going to be very, very cross.
Yeah, but those people would have no sense of joy.
Perhaps. There's also Ruinstorm Demons are back in Heresy, as is Imperialis Militia. They've got PDF army lists now, so you can actually play them. Good.
Cool.
There's no new minis to go with them, but still a thing. Warcry's had a big update because Hashut's going in there. Obviously, there's a new warband. There's a bunch of points updates, rules updates for a few units. Actually, quite a few. And actually, some new units are being added to the game. So, for example, you can add some of the named characters like Kado Ezekiar can go into Death Armies. The High Falconer can go in. The Lord Vitriolic can go in. But some actually haven't gone in. Things like the Von Grimm Harpoon crew are not in there at all. So, yeah, it's just an upgrade for Warcry for those who play it. There's a breakdown of the Deathwatch box, which, okay, fine. And Cathay is now available. Have fun with that.
With the Deathwatch box, did they actually reveal what chapter the leader of that box was? You know, the one that had the crossed swords?
Yeah, I think they did. Give me a second. I wanted to have a flick in terms of the shoulder pads.
Because I initially thought it was the Sable Swords, but then someone pointed out that it could be the Guardians of the Covenant. You know, that Dark Angel successor chapter.
You are, I think, both wrong. So, the list of chapters for the Tacticus Marines are Brazen Skulls, Exorcist, Wolf Spear, Emperor's Spear, Size of the Emperor, Stormlords, Blood Knights, Red Scorpions, Iron Snakes, Black Talons, Iron Hands, Brazen Claws, and Lamenters. The Gravis shoulder pads include Salamanders, Raven Guard, Imperial Fist, Dark Angels, Flesh Terrors, and Nova Marines, and the Phobos ones are Ultramarines, Blood Angels, White Scars, Brazen Minotaurs, and Raptors.
So who's got the cross swords then? Because that's none of them, I don't think.
Are they in the same order? Oh, they're in the same order. Hold on. Exorcist, Wolf Spear, Emperor's Spear, Size of the Emperor, Stormlords. It's the Blood Knights.
Oh! That's surprising.
Yeah, they're in the same order in the article as they are in the picture. They're read out in the same order, in between Red Scorpions and Size of the Emperor. Stormlords. It's the Blood Knights.
So I thought Blood Knights had their cross swords. I thought they were red, those swords, weren't they?
Blood Knights 40k.
I could be misremembering, I'll admit.
No, so there's a chapter called The Blood Knights of an Unknown Genetic Origin and Founding who wear red armour with white shoulder pads.
That's a weird one to go for, considering that they've also got the Blood Knights who are the Blood Angel successors.
Yes, because when I saw Blood Knights, I thought, wait, don't you mean the Blood Angel successors who went extinct? Oh no, they're the Knights of Blood. Sorry, they have a different name.
Right.
Yes, it's that level.
It's not confusing at all.
You've had this rant about 16 times, but yes, I know what you mean.
Yes. Oh well. But at least it's been confirmed, so.
Indeed. Also, it confirms that every single one of them is a dual option build, where you can build either the Blade Master Veteran or the Watch Sergeant, so you can have a Power Sword or the Xenoblade. You can have the Demolisher with the Hammer or the Storm Shield and Power Maul. You can't have both. The Gunner or Marksman Veteran, so you've got the Heavy Plasma or the Stalker Rifle. Then you've got a Head Taker or a Disruptor, so Grav Shoots or Omni Scrambler. And the Gravis has 3 options, which is the Heavy Bolter, the Frag Cannon, or the Melter Bomber with the Hellstorm Rifle. It's quite annoying. You only get to take 5 warriors per game with 11 different operatives, and you cannot take duplicates. You get 10 in the box, so you can make 10 of the 11 operatives, but game to game, you're going to have to choose.
Right.
Fun. But yes, it's definitely a lot of shoulder pads. Also, nice to see the Lamenters get a mention.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and also they sculpted the squares on for you. You don't have to paint all the squares freehand if you do Lamenters.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah, that was broadly my reaction as well.
I can imagine Wibs just looking at this and going, I need to order about 500 of these shoulder pads.
Well, you only get 1 in the box, so you
500 boxes. Give me the shoulder pads.
Oh dear. And news-wise, I think that broadly covers it. In terms of what's happened and what's come out and stuff like that. There's been a balance update for Imperial Knights and Death Guard. Okay, sure. But
it's nice that the Imperial Knights are getting their balance update before their codex comes out. You'd think that that'd be kind of redundant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is there another case like, oh, but the codex is already out of date, here's the actual thing you need for this?
I can't be bothered to read the article and find out. And that's the news.
Honest, we're all looking forward to the fact that codices are going to start costing 40 fucking quid in October.
Oh yes, I forgot about the price rises.
Yeah, that's the one bit of news I did remain aware about.
This is why I don't buy codices and I use third-party websites to do list building. And I'm not even sorry.
Was it like a 4% increase?
I thought it was 8.
Is it 8? No, surely not. I thought it was 4.
I haven't got my phone to hand to check, but I haven't actually got an article in the news about price rises. They didn't make an article about it, so I can't just check on Warhammer Community.
Let me have a look-see-doodle. Yeah, 4%.
Oh, it was 4. Okay, sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah, from 6th of October 2025, some prices in Warhammer stores and on Warhammer.com will be changing. On average, prices will rise by about 4%, but the exact amount will vary product to product. The prices of many products, including paints, sprays, and paint sets, are not changing. So basically just models and books and box sets, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, at least like the prices of paint and stuff like that isn't going up, so that's, a small mercy.
Well, that's because the paints are prohibitively expensive to begin with.
Quite. Boy, I can't wait for a 40 quid codex that's out of date before it even goes on sale.
It could happen. It
will happen.
Almost certainly, yeah, which is frustrating.
The track record's not is given how it's already happened. Like the space was it the Space before, and that was like out of date 2 weeks before it went on pre-order.
Yeah.
So for fuck's sake, God.
Yes. Well.
Never fucking mind.
However, having been off for 5 weeks, at least you have a book to talk about to make yourself feel better.
Yes, I actually read through the Grotsnik novel.
This is a spoiler one, right?
When did that book come out again?
That's what I was asking. I was wondering what was it called? Grotsnik?
Grotsnik the Mad Dok, I think it was just called. Or Da Mad Dok. Just look Grotsnik novel, because he's only had the one novel. So
yeah. I think it's quite recent.
Okay, in which case,
I think
we'll put a spoiler warning in.
What does it say about release date? Publication date 3rd of July this year, so only 2 months ago.
Yeah, if I go put a spoiler warning in. Fuck it. Oh, pardon me. Hang on, might need to be sick. 1 second.
Uh-oh.
I'll mute.
Damn you, Nuggle. Damn you, Nuggle. Yeah, I've actually been on Black Library and bought my next wave of books to read. One of them is actually The Silent King, so I need to read that, because I saw a short of a clipping from the book, and I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have clicked that, because it was probably an AI slop channel anyway. So that was a mistake, but I picked that one up. I picked up a couple of others as well, so hopefully I'll have some other stuff to read going forward. I'm actually working through at the moment the Anvils of the Heldenhammer novel, because I went to start it and then a really important book came out, so I went and read that first. So I'm going back to the Anvils of the Heldenhammer novel, because I do actually want to read it, and having read the prologue and the first chapter, it's actually quite an interesting place to be, what with the whole Daughters of Cain and Anvilgard and Harcuron Sitch. So I am definitely going to be reading that, and hopefully I'll talk to you about it in a few episodes' time.
I'll be honest, I didn't hear most of that.
That's fine.
I'll listen back through one during editing.
It's fine. You've given me a chance to go and get the questions up as well.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
But yeah, consider this a spoiler warning, in which case, entering the spoiler room brawl in 3, 2, 1... God, I can't believe the fact that the new Tron movie's going to have fucking Mr. Beast in it. It gives me a reason not to watch the fucking thing, but anyway. Skipping the prologue, because the prologue is just Grotsnik performing surgery, so we open up with Chapter 1 with a tribe of beast snaggers. They're part of Ghazghkull's massive war on this planet.
The Great War.
The Orcs are trying to take... The Great War, yes. And the Orcs are trying to take this Imperial fortification that's in the middle of this big lake. But the lake itself is acid. It's a chemical lake.
Fun.
And, we can't get across. I mean, the Storm Boys can, because they're fucking Storm Boys. But we need to get our squigs across.
That's not going to happen.
How the fuck are we going to do that? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know why I'm going to talk like this. Going to go up to fucking Lancashire and all that. But anyway, worst Lancashire accent you ever heard, lads. But anyway. And we're introduced to our main orc character, or one of our main orc characters, rather, a beast snagger knob named Valton.
Is this going to be one of those novels where the title character is absent for most of the book again?
No.
Fuck for that.
Minor spoiler for what's going on, but Grotsnik is basically the antagonist, and Valton's the protagonist, essentially.
It's one of them.
Yeah. So we've got Valton, who's also known as Valton the Patient.
Orc? Patient? What?
Yeah. He's got a very rare trait for an orc in that he takes his time, he thinks things over before acting. And the other orcs take the piss out of him for it, kind of rightly so in orc culture.
Yes.
But yeah, we find out that later on, this is due to the fact that a trophy he wears, this gemstone that's attached to a cloak, which he stole from... It's not entirely clear. It was either from an Eldari ranger or from a Drukhari. Because the cloak with the stone makes me think of a ranger, but he also mentions that he got it during a fight against the pointy ears creepy docs, which makes me think Drukhari homunculus. Yeah, so could be either really, but it's not exactly clear. He just got it from an Eldari of some kind, and the implication is that he's taken some of the traits from the previous owner, essentially.
Almost like imprinted.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But, the Orcs trying to find a way across. The Warband's mech and the Pain Boy, they're trying to figure out a way to get across. And Valton's just walking around the camp, and he sees, the tribe's Whir Boy, their version of Weird Boys.
Yeah.
Just, chained to the top of his, his little platform on the vehicle. And all of a sudden, the Weird Boy just, lets out a massive wah, a big green shockwave comes out of him. It's like, oh, Ghazghkull's sending a message. Okay. Don't like that, but we got to do what the big, the Grand Warlord says and all that.
Indeed. Biggest is best.
And this causes all the squigs to have a stampede, essentially.
It's
like, we need to go around the fucking squigs now. Yeah. and all these smasher squigs and a couple of squigosaurs, and we need to round them up, for fuck's sake. The bosses, so the Warband's boss, he gets trampled, as does the Pain Boy, as does the Maple. They all get fucking trampled.
Oops.
Then all of a sudden, a big battle wagon rolls up that's being operated seemingly by nothing but grots. And all the orcs are going, why the fuck are grots driving this battle wagon? What the fuck? Why the fuck are they all wearing masks and white jackets?
Is it? Oh, it's Grotsnik's entourage. It's
Grotsnik's entourage, yes. The battle wagon rolls over, runs over the prone form of the warbot, of the beast boss rather. It's like, oh, that's nasty. Do you want to take a look at that? And Val's like, who the bloody hell are you? Oh, sorry, allow me to introduce myself. My name's Grotsnik. And all the orcs are like...
Go on.
Sorry, Karen. No, you carry on.
I was just like, when you said a battle wagon piloted by Grots, I was like, oh, it's the Red Gobbo. No, it's Makari in his own personal transport. That was what I was hoping.
Not. But yeah, he goes, my name's Grotsnik. And all the orcs nearby are like, oh, fuck, it's the Mad Dok. Shit.
As you would. As you would.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, they call me mad. I'm not mad, though. I'm a genius, you see. I'm a genius.
Most mad people are.
Weren't you meant to be with the Grand Warlord? Yeah, well, you see, we had a bit of a disagreement, the Grand Warlord and I, so, yeah, he kicked me to the curb. But anyway, do you want someone to take a look at that? I can charge a really good rate for that. It's like, what, you run over the boss? Yeah, now you want to charge to look at him? God, you got some nerve. It's like, well, that's what docs do, innit? Good point.
If you ain't got any patience, create one.
Exactly. The tribe's pain boy, Clerval, he's gone back on his face like, oh, I don't need this guy. I'm the pain boss round here. So these are all my clients. Thank you very fucking much. Now, I need to go and wake up this squig that's been knocked out by your battle wagon. Give me that syringe. Injects a syringe into Valton's squig. The squig goes mental.
As it would.
Yeah, because it wasn't actually a mild stimulant. It was like one of those big things like those cyborg injectors, like all those chemical stimulants that basically turn into a berserker.
Hypercrack.
Yeah, essentially. The squig wakes up and immediately eats the pain boss. Just immediately eats him.
Oops.
Yeah. Goes on a rampage. Sorry, this isn't Valton's squig. It was the beast boss's squigosaur that's gone on a rampage. The really big things. That can actually bite an orc in half. It's gone on a rampage. It's buying orcs in half. It's buying grots in half. It's buying squigs in half. It's going to go for Valton. Valton's got his chopper. It's like, all right, come on then, you little bastard. Valton's own squig slams into it, like tackles it. About this squig, he's called Killface.
Get down, Mr. President.
Pretty much. Look out, sir. ARG rule, in effect.
Yep.
Yeah. Killface gets his leg pretty badly, chewed up.
Yeah.
But the squigosaur gets put down in the end. And Valton goes to Grotsnik and goes, right, since you caused this mess, and since my squig is hurt, you're going to fix my squig. You're going to fix Killface. And Grotsnik's like, you named your squig Killface? Sorry, you named your squig. That's a bit soft, innit? It's like, that's my favourite squig. You're going to fix him. All right, fine, I'll fix him. I mean, you guys are clearly in need of a new pain boy anyway, because I don't see you have one anymore. Oh, there he is. And he's over there as well. And he's over there. And he's over there.
I didn't realise that Grotsnik had a side order in fucking stand-up comedy.
But yeah, they go into Valton and Grotsnik go into the battle wagon, and they set Killface down. So don't worry, my grot orderlies will fix him up. Don't you worry. And Valton's got his own personal grot assistant, like his saddle grot, called Ica, or Icor. I was going to call it Ica because it's easier.
Yeah. And
the beast snaggers are they're all thinking like, okay, well, the boss has been eaten, the pain boss has been eaten,
Who's
the mech
left?
is dead. The weird boy is also MIA at this point. Valton, you're the biggest knob here. You're in charge now, aren't you? And Valton's like, I don't want to be in charge. What do you mean you don't want to be in charge? All orcs want to be in charge. It's like, yeah, but can't be bothered.
An orc that can't be asked to lead.
Yeah, again, you find this is due to the presence of the gem he's wearing.
Yeah, I know.
From, like, the Eldari. But they discuss, like, right, okay, so the Grand Warlord wants us to take that Umi Citadel, but we can't get across to the Umi Citadel because that lake melts orcs. Look, I'll show you. I'll just throw this grot in there like a skipping stone.
Fun.
See? Just, yeah. So we're going to need, like, a boat. But the squigs don't want to be on a boat because squigs don't like being in tight spaces.
Accurate.
And Grotsnik's like, oh, don't worry. There's a mech a few clicks down here. A guy I know called Iron Skull. I'm mates with him, so if he sees that, you guys were with me, don't worry, he'll let you on his boat. And as for the squigs, don't worry, I'll just sedate them or something. Are you actually going to sedate them or just kill them like you did like the other ones? No, I'll sedate them. I don't fuck up twice. Unless I want to.
And also, can we note, Iron Skull means he's had a Dok special of the explosive cranium implant.
Yep. Trying to think what else. Because there's a lot going on in this opening setup. So yeah, they go to visit. Before that happens, Valton goes to meet with Grotsnik outside this battle wagon, and the battle wagon's being guarded by 2 cyborgs.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and the cyborgs, they're just completely motionless, completely quiet, and makes the other orcs think, God, not much orc left in these guys, is there? Because they're not even talking to each other, they're just completely motionless, completely silent.
Accurate.
How much orc is left?
They've probably been lobotomized.
But yeah, Valton approaches the battle wagon, Grotsnik's tent or medical tent, whatever you want to call it, and the cyborg's like, activate, essentially. And Valton's like, look, you two, get out my fucking way, I'm going to see your boss. And Grotsnik's nurse, a grot called Nurse, haha, he emerges like, the doc's busy, no one's seeing him. It's like, listen here, you little shit, you're going to get your boss, or I'm going to beat the shit out of you, I'm going to beat the shit out of these 2 unorky bastards here. And all the other orcs are like, oh.
Yeah, the problem is the cyborg could absolutely lay you out into next Tuesday.
But Nurse hears a voice calling from behind him, and he goes, oh, the doc will see you now.
Of course, had to say the line.
Yep. And when Valton goes into Grotsnik's surgery, there's like all these body parts hanging from the ceiling, like these big sheets of like orc skin that have been vat grown essentially. Like still beating orc hearts, like all these organs, limbs, flesh. Yeah, very macabre. It's like, this is messed up even for a pain boy.
Yeah, it very much feels like something the homunculi would do.
Yeah. This is messed up even for a pain boy. And Grotsnik's like, don't worry, I'm going to fix his squig right up. See, look, his leg's not rotting anymore. It's a bit swollen, isn't it? Don't worry about that. It just means it's healing. Don't worry. Anyway, let's go see Iron Skull. So they go see Iron Skull, who's got this little grot orderly on his shoulder. But Iron Skull can't talk because apparently something fucked up his voice box, his voice modulator. So all he can do is communicate in static, which the grot translates.
God.
It's like Iron Skull, me old mucker. Yay. How's it hanging? Yeah, you gonna let us on your boat? What do you say, Iron Skull? You gonna let us on your boat? I think that's a yes. Does that no? I don't understand. The boss says he'll let you on because you're his friend. Okay, no one gives a fuck what you say, little grot, piss off. But yeah, they get on the boat. Meanwhile, we cut to the defenders of the Citadel, all these PDF forces and all that, and they got this weird little variation of the local Imperial cult, because they refer to the Emperor as the Void Emperor and all that.
All right, variants are technically permissible.
Yep. Sanctioned variants. You got a commissar, on the battle lines, do not fire until you are given the order. Anyone who fires beforehand will be, given the Emperor's justice and all that. Bang, bullet to the head. Yep. And we must hold the line because we must defend our children. We must defend for the Void Emperor and for our patron king. We must the planetary governor. We must defend this spot because we have been chosen to do so. And we cut back to the orcs who are on the boat. There's several boats, in fact. But, Valton's boat is the one that's carrying all the squigs.
Uh-oh.
All the squigs are unconscious, they've been sedated, and the Grots are not happy because the squigs are literally shitting non-stop. And it's like, I heard a poop deck, but this is ridiculous, kind of thing.
God's sake, I know orcs are supposed to be funny, but do you have to have a bar a minute of stand-up?
But yeah, the boats are sailing, across, and Valton and Grotsnik are having a chat, and Valton's like, there's something in the water. It's like, don't be stupid, that's a chemical, like, just melts anything organic. There can't be anything in the water. No, I'm telling you, there's something in the water. There's nothing in the water. Massive tentacle bursts out of the water. It's like, there's something in the water. So
Fuck.
there is. Yeah. It's basically this, like, mutant kraken thing, essentially.
Yeah, you said tentacle, my brain went cracking because the orcs wouldn't care about a little squid. It would have to be something monstrous.
Yeah. Though I think technically 40k term in this instance would be a sump devil, which is from Necromunda, but technicalities and all that.
Yes.
Trivialities, even. But yeah, Valta ends through a series of like action movie-esque cliches. Valta ends up killing the Kraken through like sheer like, okay, this is nonsense, but like in a very epic way. But like he ends up getting thrown to the beach. Sorry, he doesn't kill at this point. He gets thrown to the beach, whereas he tries to kill it. The Kraken has swallowed Grotsnik, but when Valton regains consciousness, the orcs have basically, they've made it to the other side. They made it to the shore, and they're storming the beaches, essentially. The commander of the PDF, she turns around and says, like, we may need some reinforcements because there's a lot more orcs here than I thought. Can we get some more aid? Don't worry, the Emperor is sending his angels. It's like, oh, the Emperor's angels, hooray! So you think, obviously, Space Marines, Emperor's angels, not angels.
Yeah, that's not happening.
But it's like, hold fast, the Emperor is sending his angels. Wow. They're on the beach. The Kraken is crawling out of the water to attack the orcs.
Fun.
Yet, strangely enough, it's avoiding the humans. It's ignoring them. It's ignoring the humans, but just attacking the orcs. And Valton looks at the Kraken and realizes that the Kraken's eyes are very human-like.
What?
Some kind of genetic abomination, essentially. Valton accidentally steps on like a dying human skull, and it just causes it to go pop like a zip. And the Kraken stops and turns to look at him. And Valton's like, "Oh, you don't like it when I step on the Yumis, do you? Like, stomp, 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 stomp." And this pisses the Kraken
antagonize
off.
the 20,000-foot monster.
This pisses the Kraken off. It roars, and its throat starts to bulge. It's like, oh, it's going to do something horrible. And it does. It starts vomiting up like liquid from the lake, all this acid liquid. And it does it again. Its neck's bulging even larger and larger. Then all of a sudden, its throat just explodes, a shower of blood, and Grotsnik just bursts out of it. His bionic eye is glowing bright green, and he's just like angry as hell. He lets out this massive roar, not a wah, a full-on roar, like the roar of a primal animal, and he starts attacking everything in sight. He sees that he even attacks Valton, and Valton's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like smacks him around the head a few times, and steam starts shooting out of Grotsnik's head, because he's got a metallic plate in his head as well. It's like
full-on orky blood
click,
rage.
click, click, bump. Yeah, it's like click, click, boom, boom. It's like, oh, Valton, what the fuck's going on? Oh, there's a big scrap in it. Right. This is going to be fun. Right, hey. The orcs are storming the citadel still. They're pushing the defenders back.
As you would.
But then the angels burst out of some windows from higher up in the tower. And the orcs are like, what the fuck? And the angels start tearing the orcs apart. Unarmed, just ripping them apart. It's like, yay, the Emperor sent his angels. And the orcs are like, the fuck's going on? What the fuck are these things? But the leader of the PDF, she's been badly wounded, and she's told, look, the orcs are still pushing their way through. They're going to get to like the vat-grown chambers where all our children are grown. You need to go and warn our patron king. You need to warn him.
Mm-hmm.
You need so that they can actually defend it and all that. Meanwhile, like the fortifications start to shake. Humans look over the edge, and Gazgol's there. He's just literally just punching the foundations. He's like, I'm gonna fucking smash this building, way. He's just smashing his way
Gaz
through.
wanted them to take it. Why is he here?
because he's smashing his way through the ring. He's like, it's a good scrap. I'm going to smash my way through and get into the heart of it this way. Smash, smash, smash. Way.
Oh, go conquer this. Actually, you're having too good of a fight. I want a piece of that action.
Pretty much.
God, Gaz.
Yeah. He's an orc. Orcs love a good fight.
Yes, but when you get in communications and Gaz, he can do that across world. I didn't even think he was on world.
No, he's on the planet. He's on the planet.
I mean, yeah, I know, Grotsnik said, he kicked me out, but, Grotsnik's very literal, but also very very waffly by Orky standards. So he could have been, he booted me off the planet, now I'm over here. But no, he literally meant he kicked me from down the road to down here because he just wanted to come and smash something. Okay, I didn't realise quite how close Gaz was.
Yeah. But back with Valton and Grotsnik. Grotsnik's got his big syringe and he's taking some samples from the Kraken. It's like, this is interesting. I haven't seen anything like this before. We could probably use this to patch up your squigs somewhat, can't we? Something interesting from this. Yeah, it could be useful. Take some raw materials, You never know when you're going to need spares.
God. They
go back to the battle wagon, which had been dragged along on the boat. Even though most of the boats have been sunk, the cyborgs are literally just dragged it from under the water. And when they reach the shore, all this green goo starts seeping out of the joints of the cyborgs. So well, they're dead.
There's not much orc left. Yeah, there's now no orc left.
No. Go back in and check on Killface. His legs have gone very swollen, like very tumorous. It's like, I thought you were supposed to fix my squig. Was I? I thought I was doing something else. Fix my fucking squig. All right. You know what? I think the Umis here, they don't smell quite right. I think they're doing what's it called? Genetic engineering. So we're going to go into their little breeding lab thing, get some stuff from there, and we'll make your squig as good as new. You better. I will. Would I ever lie to you? He did,
yes.
In fact, lie to him.
He's been lying the entire time.
So they go into the lab, and Grotsnik starts collecting all this data, all these genetic samples, and all. It's like, this will be very useful, very useful. And a bunch of large figures drop from the ceiling. Valton's got his chopper out. Grotsnik gets his big cleaver out, whatever. And it's a bunch of orc commandos.
Nice.
It's like, who the fuck are you guys? Oh, we're the Grand Warlord's personal espionage squad. And Grotsnik's like, you don't even know what that word means. It's like...
Well, they might. They're blood axes. They might.
It's like, doesn't matter. The Grand Warlord's not happy with you, Grotsnik, so he sent us 6, to deal with you. There's only 5 of you. Where's the 6th one? Look up, it's like, Boss Miana's got stuck.
Again, orcs are supposed to be funny, but they have to be this slapstick.
It's like, boys, just get him down. Yeah, can you get me down? Because it's getting a bit sticky up here. What do you mean, sticky? And the orc explodes. The shower of gore is like, the fuck happened there? And a bunch of shapes drop down from the ceiling. But before we get to that, we get to the PDF commander who's brought before the Patron King. The Patron King sitting on his throne. Massive bastard. Think Space Marine sized.
Right.
Describes being absolutely beautiful beings. Like, the Patron King, yes, I bring word. The orcs are pushing through. And for a very brief second, she blinks and her vision of him flickers. Turns out it's a Gene Stealer Patriarch.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the things that are attacking the orcs now, they're Gene Stealers. The angels, they're Gene Stealers. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah, makes sense now, doesn't it? And the commandos, most of them get killed. Actually, all the commandos get killed off, but Valton and Grotsnik survive. The Gene Stealers are dead, except for one of those little Gene Stealer familiars. The ones that the Maguses have. These little tiny fuckers.
Oh, yeah, another one.
Yeah, Grotsnik grabs it and goes, never seen one of these before. Well, time to take some blood samples with his big earthy syringe.
Oh, God, don't make orc Gene Stealer hybrids.
He gets something in the syringe, but it's not blood or fluid, it's smoke. And Grotsnik's like, that's unusual. And the little familiar just goes, poof! The little puff of smoke just disappears, because obviously they're warp creatures, technically.
Yes, actually, I hadn't remembered that. I thought they were actually biological.
No, they're warp creatures. They're little personifications of the brood mind.
Yes, that
and
makes sense.
And Grotsnik's just looking at the smoke in the syringe and goes, this looks like warp energy. Well, you never know, warp energy could come in useful one day. Might as well keep that.
I mean, yeah, distilled warp energy probably would have a use.
Right, anyway, let's go and fix your squig up. So let's go back to the wagon. Da-da-da. And Valton's like sitting there waiting outside the battle wagon, because obviously the surgery's being performed. And he's like, this is taking too long. I'm going to go check on my squig. He sees the squig is now missing both its legs. They have been amputated. It's like, the fuck? Fuck's sake, Grotsnik. Grotsnik, what have you done with my squig? And he sees Grotsnik, but Grotsnik seems different now. He seems a bit bigger. It's like, Grotsnik, you were supposed to fix my squig. And Grotsnik just slowly gets up and is like, I'm not meant to do anything. Do you know who I am? I'm Grotsnik. I'm the guy who is effectively a god in this place. It's like, you're a god, even though Ghazghkull is the prophet of the gods. And Grotsnik just starts shouting, and he doesn't shout like an orc. He shouts like a human, essentially, which makes him kind of a bit more, oh fuck, this is getting serious. Because he starts going like, it's like, he is a prophet of nothing. The gods did not make Ghazghkull. I made Ghazghkull. He is my creation.
He's not wrong. Technically, he's not wrong.
Yeah. And I am going to make something to surpass even him. And Valton notices that the Grot nurse is dead. Like, been ripped to shreds by Grotsnik. Because prior to the surgery, Grotsnik says, like, this is a surgery I can't do by myself. I need Iron Skull to help me. Iron Skull's dead. Clerval's dead. Well, the only one who's even close to do it is my nurse, Grot. So, okay, fuck it, you've been promoted to Dok. But Grotsnik's like, yeah, I had to kill him because he was stealing my knowledge. Because there's no way you can learn to be a doctor. There's no way you can learn to do surgery. You are born with that ability, but he was able to do it. Grots aren't able to do that. So he stole that knowledge from me, and I even looked inside his brain. No stitch marks. I don't know how he done it, but he stole parts of my brain, but I don't know how he done it. Basically, Grotsnik's being delusional, because obviously you can learn to be a doctor. But to orcs, where your knowledge is literally in your genes, it's incomprehensible to an orc that someone can actually learn.
Well, okay, counterpoint. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate for Grotsnik, he's insane, but he's not, from an orc's perspective, he's not wrong. A regular orc boy could never become a Dok. A mech boy couldn't. A Grot, I mean, okay, Grots are not orcs. Grots are smart. Grots could learn. I think from a purely orcish perspective, he's right. From a Grot's perspective and any other species that is not exactly an orc, yes, okay, he's wrong.
From an orc's perspective, he is right. But again, this is from an objective perspective in that he is wrong. Nurse had spent years by Grotsnik's side as his chief orderly. He had watched for years Grotsnik doing his operations. He had learned, he had studied.
Yes,
and Grotsnik can't comprehend that.
Yeah, because he can't comprehend Grots as how they think. He can only think from an orc.
He can't comprehend the idea of knowledge being transferred any other way but via your own genes.
Yes, because that's how all orcs work.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
But yeah, this leads to Grotsnik and Valton getting into a punch-up. Grotsnik's about to rip Valton's head off, where he sees, like, Iker with, like, the syringe, and he's like, Iker, stab him with the syringe! Inject him with that shit! Iker's like, okay, boss. Stabs Grotsnik, and Grotsnik's head goes like steam, click, 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 clunk. So, oh, thanks, I needed that.
Which syringe do you mean? Do you mean the calm down syringe, or do you mean the warp syringe?
Yes. The calm down syringe.
Okay, just checking, because, there's a syringe of warp energy lying around.
Yeah. I was like, right, I'm feeling myself now. Right, the project's almost complete, but I'm going to need some spare parts. Nurse, where's Nurse? He looks down and sees Iker. I go, right, Nurse, please sedate the patient. And Iker's like, I'm not Nurse, but I guess I'm Nurse now. He looks at Valton and goes, sorry, boss, and sedates Valton. So basically, he's now the new Nurse. He's now Grotsnik's Grot now. And Valton wakes up, strapped to a gurney, and he's missing his limbs. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Grotsnik, you bastard.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And Gross is like, you're awake. And since you've been such a good patient, and as an apology for me not fixing up your squig, I'm going to give you a front row seat. And and Valton realizes that he's in the battle wagon, it's moving along. It stops, doors open, Grotsnik wheels him out on his gurney, and he sees Ghazghkull sitting on a throne that was made for the Patriarch. The dead Patriarch's on the floor in front of him, Ghazghkull sitting there, and Ghazghkull's like, Grotsnik, you got some balls coming back here.
Question, is Ghazghkull in his armour?
Yes.
Yeah, because Ghazghkull's now stuck in his armour, isn't he? Because he got decapitated by Ragnar Blackmane. Just checking to make sure that people are keeping a sense of perspective, because people don't realise how big Ghazghkull is because they've never seen him out of the armour, but he's massive even without it. That's just what
they mention how he's so big that him just sitting on the Patriarch's throne is causing it to break, essentially. Because he's so big.
I was thinking that.
It's barely supporting his weight. I mean, barely. But he's like, you got some nerve coming back here, Grotsnik. What the fuck are you doing here? It's like, well, I'm here to correct a mistake. Because I thought you were my greatest creation, but no. I made something that surpassed even you, Ghazghkull. Press his little button on his little Pip-Boy, his little wrist-mounted, control. I was going to call it his Pip-Boy for convenience sake.
Yep.
Battle wagon doors open up, and out steps what is best to be described as a Franken-Orc.
Well, there was rumours that Grotsnik was working on some sort of super orc, but then I think many believed that the super orc he was working on ended up being the body that Ghazghkull got when he died.
Nope. This Franken-Orc, it's got the bodies of several orcs stitched together, it's in terms of mass. The legs are from Killface, so it's got all the digitigrade legs, it's a massive, massive creature with yellow, rotting, discolored, decaying flesh and all that, It's got a lank hair squig attached to it. And it is big, as in it is about the same size as Ghazghkull in his armour. Big.
That's quite terrifying.
Yeah. And Ghazghkull just looks at it and goes, what the fuck have you done? Because this thing is not an orc.
No, I mean, it's got the legs of a squig. Of course it's not an orc.
Yeah. And Gross like, what I've done is made something even greater than you. Because the gods did not create us. We created the gods. And out of all of us, I am a god because I am a creator. I created a new and improved life form, essentially. And
Does he have a point?
No. Yeah, he's angry at Ghazghkull and wants to challenge him, essentially, yeah.
No, as in about the whole, the Gorkamort was created by the orcs, so the gods didn't create the orcs.
No, it's nuts.
No, just I'm thinking because, the old ones created the orcs, and then the orc psyche often imprints on the warp, so I was wondering if Gorkamort were genuinely created by the orc psyche.
No, he's got no point. He's a nutter. He's a nutter.
I know, but sometimes the most insane people make a candid point now and then. I just wanted to check.
Yes, I know, but let me continue, please.
Sorry.
But yeah, one of Ghazghkull's bodyguards, not bodyguards, one of them charges at the Franken-Orc with his ooze chopper, drives it into the Franken-Orc's head. The Franken-Orc no-sells it and backhands the orc so hard it explodes into gibs. And just rips the chopper out of his head, drops it on the floor, and roars at Ghazghkull. It's challenging him. And all the other orcs turn to Ghazghkull's like, well, it's a challenge, boss. You gotta answer it.
I mean, yeah.
So Ghazghkull gets off his throne. It's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Wow, charges at it, starts shooting it with his big shooter. And there's a great bit from the narrator, which says to the effect of, while Ghazghkull is the greatest warrior Orcdom has ever known, he still couldn't shoot for shit.
No, he can't.
He's shooting so wildly up. Some of the bullets hit the Franken-Orc, some of them hit Grotsnik, some of them hit Valton, some of them hit his bodyguards. He's just shooting wildly. But the two clash. The Franken-Orc destroys Ghazghkull's shooter, smashes it apart, but Ghazghkull's like, oh, is that all you got? Punch, punch, punch. Then the Franken-Orc tears out a bunch of power cables for Ghazghkull's armor. Now Ghazghkull's armor is a hindrance. And he starts beating down on Ghazghkull hard. But then Ghazghkull catches the Franken-Orc's arm with his power claws, oh no, you don't, and starts ripping out of its socket. But then the Franken-Orc vomits up acid onto Ghazghkull's face. It's the lake water from the Kraken, which he took samples from earlier.
Yeah, I remember.
And starts beating the ever-loving shit out of Ghazghkull. Ghazghkull's dropped to one knee. He's beating Ghazghkull down to a knee. And Grotsnik's like, yes, my creation's so good, it's perfect. And then Ghazghkull unleashes the power of the War. He starts being surrounded in this big, glowing green aura. His armor starts repairing itself, and he just ends up completely brutalizing the Franken-Orc, like just caving its skull in, essentially.
So
Franken-Orc's dead. Grotsnik's like, oh, fuck.
So
And Ghazghkull just walks. Sorry, Karen.
Do you know what the vibe I'm getting right now is?
What?
WrestleMania 3. Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Beat down, literal Hulk up to hell, beat down the bad guy, and the other guy at the back's left looking like a rather silly idiot.
Yeah. And Ghazghkull just goes up to Grotsnik and goes, what you did was fucking stupid. Don't fucking do it again. Yes, sir. That being said, though, it could take a crumping, couldn't it? That was fun. Weird.
Yeah, I was
don't do
waiting.
it again, because that's not orky.
I was waiting for that. That was fun.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end. The epilogue is basically like him talking to himself in the mirror, because he's like, split personality and all that. But like, don't worry, my next creation is going to be even greater. The end.
God. Orcs. Just orcs. Just everything orcs.
It was a fun book, though. I will say it's a really fun book.
It is the orkiest book that ever orked.
I'll say it's the best orc book I've read since the Ghazghkull novel.
That's high praise. I mean, there's not been that many of them, but that's still high praise.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like it's miles better than like Big Dagger by a country mile.
Fair, valid.
Or not Big Dagger, Brutal Cunning. Sorry.
Fair. Was it too funny? Because the amount of jokes that you could crack out of that book, I get that the orcs are supposed to be comedic. I get it that they are a comedy, but sometimes when when every single thing is a punchline or a punch in,
I'd say no, because me, for some of these things I tend to be a bit comedically hyperbolic, but like overall it had the right balance of like seriousness and humor.
Good, because that was
it's how an orc book should be. That striking that balance between like fucked up and fucking hilarious. That right balance.
Good, because especially with Grotsnik, who is very much on the former half of that spectrum, it could be quite a difficult balance to strike. Because I didn't realize, I assumed that most orcs can crack a joke, but I didn't realize that Grotsnik could just sling out one-liners every 5 minutes. And then
most of Grotsnik's lines tend to be me being comedically hyperbolic.
Fair enough. I haven't read the book, so I only have your words to go on rather than Grotsnik's actual lines. But yeah, bet. But no, that sounds really, really good. And the Genes to the Cult twist I did not see coming. I probably should have, but I didn't see that coming.
I'll be honest, at first glance, I thought it was going to be like a Chaos Cult. It's like, oh, it's Gene Stealers, of course. Makes more sense.
Yeah, a bit
Void Emperor, Patron King, Patriarch, Makes sense.
On second read, you get it.
Mm.
Which is good. And I'm pleased that it does that. But no, it seems like it's really, really good. I'm glad that one of those books was a hit. And it's good to actually see Grotsnik, because Grotsnik's been around for decades and yet never really had a look aside from the creator of Ghazghkull. So getting a poke into his head, and actually, for as much as he is completely psychotic, some of the things he says are correct. Gork and Mork didn't make Ghazghkull. I mean, you could argue that it was the bolt around that enters his skull that made him Ghazghkull. But Grotsnik's the one that put him back together. If Grotsnik isn't there, Ghazghkull dies. And so Grotsnik has a point.
There's a great line in the book, which I forgot to mention, where he basically says to the effect of like how Ghazghkull is not an orc. What he is a bucket. He is a bucket that just collects war energy, and when he's being beaten up by the Franken-Orc, he's now a bucket full of holes. Because he's basically a channeling point for the war. For the war,
which is,
essentially.
I mean, that is correct.
So he is basically a bucket.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that statement.
Mm.
Because we don't know if they actually do communicate to him or he just gets filled with energy and translates. We don't know. And it's a good place to take Grotsnik because, having been through he's been through since creating Gazgul and everything that happened afterwards, and he is completely psychotic because he got sawed in the head by a death dread and fixed by a random bunch of grots. Of course he's psychotic. But the reason I make the comparison to Bobby Heenan was like all good heels, he's completely evil and psychotic, but he has a point. And yes, not most of those points are deluded, but they're not wrong necessarily. And well, I know I got a bit into the whole, didn't the Orcs technically create Gork and Mork because the old ones created the Orcs and the Orc psyche then reflected in the warp and that became Gork and Mork because that's what happened with the Chaos Gods. You could make that argument. So he's wrong, but he's not completely wrong. And it's actually really interesting to get that insight. And I really actually appreciate the way they wrote him. So yeah, sounds really good.
It was really good, yeah.
Good. Right. As I sort of hinted to the viewers while you were dealing with Nurgle, I've started reading Annals of the Heldenhammer again, but I haven't really got far enough to talk about it yet. I've also bought a few more books to read, so coming up on the podcast in the semi-recent future, you've got The Silent King, I've bought that. Witchbringer, the Primaris Psycho novel, I've bought that. And Vermin Slayer, because I'm carrying on with the Go Trek.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's coming up soon from my side on the books. Shall we do some questions?
Go on then.
Right, so we'll go back firstly to the most recent episode with Narina, because there's a few there, and some of them were re-asked specifically for you, so I will do that. So, speaking of... No, we've left the Spoiler Room Brawl. Speaking of something we discussed in the Spoiler Room Brawl, in the instance that a lictor, so, far away from a hive fleet, meets a Genestealer Patriarch, who's in control? Would the Broodmind dominate the lictor, or would the lictor's severed hive mind connection dominate the Broodmind? Or will it just end in nomming?
Sorry, you cut it after the lictor's severed.
The lictor's miles away from the hive mind. There is no hive mind connection necessarily to a lictor when it's 2 million light years away, or however far a lictor goes. Right. So if it runs into an embedded Genestealer cult with a Patriarch and a full Broodmind, who controls? Does the lictor assume control in the way the hive mind would?
I assume that the Patriarch is going to be from the same hive fleet. I assume.
I mean, if they are from the same hive fleet, then yes, they just link back up. But does the lictor become a servant of the Patriarch, or does the lictor take over?
I don't think either happens. I think the lictor remains independent because the Broodmind isn't really strong enough to control other Nids until the Patriarch has evolved into a Broodlord.
At which point it's not a Broodmind anymore, it's a full-on Tyranid.
It goes back to the hive mind. So if it's a Patriarch, it won't control it. But if it evolves into a Broodlord, then it will take control over the lictor.
Yeah, because it's a synapse creature.
But the lictor itself is not a synapse creature, so it won't have any effect on the Nids. It won't be able to take control.
No, that makes sense. All right. One that Rem missed that they would like to hear his perspective. In a fight between a mortal named character and a resurrectable or replaceable character, e.g., the Avatar of Cain, a demon Primarch that can be banished, the result often feels predictable because one can die, the other one can't, and the lore will move on regardless if one of them dies because they'll just come back. What kind of fight, or what would you do to subvert this trend and have the prominent named mortal lose to the immortal and actually die without upsetting the setting?
You can always cheat and say, have him brought back via a clone. But that would feel like a cop-out. Honestly, your best way of doing it to subvert the thing would be to have the immortal character kill the mortal outright. Kind of like with Rafa Magnus, when Magnus killed Eagle Iron Wolf.
Yes.
Because that was out of the blue. It was like, oh shit, killed Eagle Iron Wolf.
Yeah.
Or having Farsight kill Nazdreg. That was out of the blue. So holy shit, Nazdreg's dead.
But those are like quite they're known characters, but they are quite minor. But
What
yes,
did I call Nasdreg minor? He was like the second biggest warlord aside from Ghazghkull. He was like the number 2 in the Orc warlord hierarchy, essentially. Like, he was the second most prominent Orc warlord there was.
Seriously? I knew he was powerful, but I didn't realise he was quite that powerful. Actually, yeah, Pacina 4, duh.
Yeah, exactly. They teamed up. They were pretty much seen as, at that point, they were seen as like, being more or less on par. I mean, Ghazghkull had like, seniority because he was like, the Grand Warlord, but Nasdreg was a comfortable number 2.
True. I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, you make a point. Okay. Oh god, there's a Grey Knight question.
Something Matt Ward. I don't know.
So the new Grey Knight law got me thinking. Oh boy. If Grey Knight...
Which new law was this? Was this the Terminus Decree one, or the bit where they have new organs?
The Terminus Decree one.
Right.
So, if Grey Knights are said to be made with directly sourced gene seed from the Emperor, and Custodes are genetically engineered to be loyal to the Emperor, could this grant the Grey Knights a kind of partial protection because of the genetic link between them and the Emperor?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
The Primarchs are also, built with the Emperor's DNA, and half the survivor ones are demon princes now, so...
True, yeah. Okay, that's all on the Narina episode. I'll go back to the previous one as well, the Sotek episode as well, just to see if there's anything I missed.
In regards to the Grey Knight law, the one that I noticed that no one's talking about, is the fact that Grey Knights have additional organs over regular Space Marines now. Why is no one talking about that? That's like, hang on, that's a bigger deal.
It is definitely weird.
It's like, where did this shit come from?
Yes, like I say, it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a little bit in the previous episode. So, do we know the opinion of each Primarch on the Mechanicum during the Great Crusade?
I'm fairly sure Ferrus Manus was pro-Mechanicum.
Duh.
I think Corvus didn't hold... I don't think he held them in too high regard because they remind him too much of, the Kievaran tech guilders. So I think he didn't think too highly of them, but I could be wrong. Knowing Gilliam, he probably view them as they're fine. I've got no issue with them one way or the other.
They are who they are. They just are.
I can't imagine Fulgrim being too keen on them. It's they replace all their body parts with cybernetics. That's weird.
Yes. Hardly avatars of perfection.
Yeah. But I can't say for certain everyone's opinion, in all honesty.
True. Okay, last one then, because I've gone back. Oh no, 2. Okay. Do the Necromundans know, the gangs of Necromunda know, that the Imperial Fists recruit from there?
Yes.
And if so, what do they do about it? Do they have trials for recruitment? Do they try and appeal to, ally up with Imperial Fist ambassadors? What do they do about it?
They don't do shit, because basically the Imperial Fists just go, you've been drafted. It's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, it's not like, say, the Blood Angels, where it's like...
No. With the Imperial Fist, it's like, you've been drafted, come here. Right, we're going to scan you. Are you good enough genetically? Yeah, you'll do. Right, get on the boat, essentially. For more information, read Ian Watson's Space Marine, because it actually does go into a lot of detail regarding the recruitment process, because the opening chapters are set on Necromunda. So,
fair enough. There was one other one which I'll finish on. What would your thoughts be on and I think this is a question we've had before a few times in the past, but I'll ask it anyway, a Total War style game for 40k? Obviously there's Total War for fantasy, but if they were to 40k it, what would your thoughts be? Obviously you wouldn't have the same systems, you'd have a smaller scale, but then Space Marines are ridiculously powerful, you've got different tech trees, and what would you...
I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the Total War games because I've not really had a chance to play them. So
No.
I can't really say what they're like to compare. I mean,
Well-
from my understanding, that they're mostly based on, like, they mostly focus on things like melee combat and stuff like, big medieval armies and all that. So I'm not sure how a game system which focuses primarily on ranged combat with 40k, because I know that obviously there's hand-to-hand combat, but primarily it's ranged combat because everyone's got a fucking gun. So I don't know how that will compare when you have a game engine that's focused on melee.
Well, actually, that isn't always the case. The original ones, Rome, medieval, etc., they're like that, yes. But Empire Total War, which I've seen played before, is set in the sort of colonial era where everybody has guns. Now, granted, those guns are bolt action, not even bolt action, like single musket rifles. They're not exactly rapid fire machine guns, but they have done Total War games with elements of range combat. They're all historical, so they're no level of gun that we have, but they do develop into having proper riflemen as part of that. They don't end up with bolt action or semi-auto or anything like that by the end of the game, but they have started to do that in some of their games. And obviously they did Total War Warhammer, where the Empire plays very much a ranged game with artillery and handgunners and archers and crossbowmen and various things. So they could do it. The problem is that you're right, the guns are the issue, primarily because they're so powerful that you'd have to make melee units incredibly tanky or incredibly numerous to cross the battlefield, or you'd need to include battlefields with huge amounts of cover to allow them to cross. Basically, it's just like playing 40k itself. Ranged armies with clear lines of sight and lots of guns will just win outright. So I think they would really struggle to pull it together, not to mention that the other aspect of Total War is diplomacy. And 40k doesn't have that.
Unless you're the Tau.
Okay, unless you're the Tau. But the best way to do it within the 40k universe is to do it more like Necromunda. Well, I don't know Necromunda because the armies would be too small, but like groups fighting over a single world where they would actually talk to each other, like human rebels and different factions and things like that actually might be willing to talk, which is unlikely in 40k. The diplomacy aspect being missing is what Total War would miss the most, being set in 40k.
Basically, what you're suggesting is just do Dark Crusade again.
Yeah, do Dark Crusade again. It's basically the answer.
Dark Crusade again. There you go. That's how you do it. Just do Dark Crusade.
Dark Crusade is that good that I'm probably going to end up nicking the map and doing something similar because I'm creating a Mighty Empire stamp campaign at Warhammer Club. So that's how good Dark Crusade is. I'm putting it on tabletop-ish.
There you go. There's your answer. Do Total War 40k, but just do Dark Crusade.
Yes, again. And on that massive bombshell, I think we shall call time there. I apologize, it's late and I had to stop recording for a bit. And I
had to puke.
And Remleiz's voice probably needs a break.
Yeah. You know when you talk a lot after you've been sick and you just feel that burning? It just burns.
That's called acid.
Yeah. You know that itching, burning sensations, that acid that came out, just like with Gazgol, but that's going back into the spoiler territory. So, yes, anyway. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it there, as Neve just said. So, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
And this has been Neve from Tactica Imperialis.
And hopefully I won't be sick next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.